Hello, hello. Hello, Rebecca. I'm just gonna let like the numbers climb for a minute. The reason why I'm not on camera, well, last time I did the past life messages, I was on camera for the collective reading, and then I took myself off camera. But just to like help me stay in my alignment with my channeling. That's all, because sometimes the chat can be, I will catch things and it's nobody's fault or anything. It's just, and then it pulls me out. It's a little distracting at times. So that's why I'm not fully on camera. Oh, the video about, so I shared in my story last night. I took it down this morning because it was really long. And so if I want to add anything else to my story would be like crazy long. But a lot of people saw it. The people who needed to see it saw it. But it's very true where like starseeds and light workers, they really struggle with, corporate world, corporate environments, just anything that's like very connected to the matrix in that way, because we're so sensitive and empathic and we can just see through all the BS. So a lot of light workers, clients of mine, people I've talked to, myself included, have really struggled with, maintaining, careers for long periods of time because we see it, and it's very toxic and disturbing. It's everyone trying to one up each other. It's very competitive. It's very political. It's all the things that are wrong with the world, basically, So anyways, okay. So I'm going to start the message. I'm going to just kind of connect a little bit. So something that came through very strongly, and it's funny too, because one of my girlfriends sent me a reel from Instagram about ancestral healing and being a generational curse breaker, stuff like that. And basically I want to say, like, we know, like, well, some of you guys may not have heard me say this before, but those of you guys who have been with me for a while, or your clients of mine, I will always say, like, one of my favorite, like, quotes is the bigger the pain, the bigger the purpose. You look at certain ascended masters, Kuan Yin. I mean, her life story is just, gosh, it's horrific. And then look at Jesus, like all these like very powerful, right, beings, ascended masters, starseeds, light workers, they have known great amount of pain. So I'm going to kind of just talk a little bit about that. I think for the collective message of like, when you're the generational curse breaker, it's like we get labeled, right? Like it's very common for starseeds and light workers to be the outcast. We're the black sheep. Oftentimes they struggle a lot in their life with, being in school, just very structured environments in that way. Again, going back to like work, like being in corporate fields, jobs, things like that. Maybe it's something that you were passionate about, when you began it, and then years go by and you're just like, I can't with this anymore. But it's also like, light workers are also the ones in the family or just in general labeled as, you got, it's like battling depression, suffering with like stuff like PTSD, mental illness is what they will label it, suffer with mental health, anxiety, just stuff like that. And it's because, we carry the wounds of not only, ourselves and our past lives, but we carry the wounds and the suffering and all of the things from our like whole like lineage, right? And that's what we're doing is we are here, okay, moving through the pain and the suffering. And it's gonna look different for everybody, right? It's gonna look different for everybody, but pain cannot be resolved until it's felt. And that's what so many of us, like, we come from these lines where, and even probably ourselves in past lives, right? We're, This isn't like a blame game. This is more like, this is just the reality of it. But there's a lot of suppressed stuff. It's just like, if you just sweep it under the rug, it didn't happen. You know, you grow up maybe in a family where there's maybe, you know, maybe, for instance, a very abusive father to the mother, okay? And the children witness that, right? But then every day, you know, it's kind of like no one talks about it. It's just, you know, you go along throughout life like, oh, it never happened, you know, until it happens again. And then it never happened. And then it happens again. And then, right? So it's like all these layers of like very deep suppressed stuff. And so that's why we're like, you gotta feel it to heal it. So the generational curse breakers are the ones who are here to feel it. And we're feeling it for everybody who has refused to heal it and feel it, right? So it's quite it's quite an intense energy. It's quite an intense journey. You know, I've witnessed people around me my whole life, you know, friends of mine, stuff like that, where it's like they would share with me like, oh, my life is so hard, you know. For instance, I had a girlfriend when I was like, you know, 18, 19 years old. And, you know, I was at that age, you know, I left the house at 18, like moved out, like moved in with some friends into an apartment. I was going to college, full-time college schedule. And then this is, you know, and then to support myself, because my father was like, when you're 18, you're out of the house, you're done. Like, I'm not supporting you, right? And that's how his mentality was. That's how his family's mentality is. That's, you know, and so that's what I had to do. You know what I mean? And so I had a friend who, you know, like her parents supported her till she was like 25. You know what I mean? They paid for everything. She didn't have to worry about anything. And she had like a job, but all the money she make went to her. You know what I mean? And then it's like she would complain. And then the day that she did get cut off, it was like the world fucking ended. And I was like, are you kidding? This is your biggest problem? Like, this is what you're complaining about? This is your trauma? Give me a break. And I just feel like a lot of light workers, we've been put in these positions around these people where we have suffered a lot of wounds and very, very difficult situations. And, you know, it gives us perspective, right? To see like what real trauma is, what real wounds are, what real loss is, what real sadness is, what real depression is, what real struggle is in that way. And, you know, I've worked with so many people who like their stories, it's just like hardship after hardship after hardship, struggle after struggle after struggle, you know, whether that be, you know, grieving a loss, a death, battling some kind of addiction, homelessness, you know, not being able to maintain work, feeling like you're always struggling financially, like all these hardships, right? But it's all for a reason, right? Like we didn't come here because we couldn't handle it. We came here because we could, right? And that's what makes us so strong. That's what makes us so unique and divine. And then we emanate that strength out, right? As we rise up more and we start healing ourselves more, but we do have to be the ones to pull ourselves out of it. We do. We have to be the ones to consistently show up and do that work. So anyway, so going back, so bigger the pain, bigger the purpose. So, you know, many of you guys have had to feel this. And it's quite an honor because it is, you know, you're doing such powerful work as far as healing the lineage goes. But I've been talking, well, over on my Instagram, I've talked a little bit about it. And then, but Jesus is just like showing up like so much right now. And he's coming through very strongly today too. This like whole morning. And, it's funny because like the way that he shows up, it's different all the time, but it's like in my mind's eye, he's showing up and, he's cloaked in like blue robes, how you often would see him depicted. And his hand is out. Like it's almost like he's coming through and saying like, take my hand. Right. So I feel that that's very strong. I feel like he's coming through for a lot of people right now. And that's the message. It's the bigger the pain, the bigger the purpose. And it's take my hand. You are not alone. You are not alone. Right. So maybe that's just a message for some of you guys to call on him, call on, I did a channeled message yesterday, like a little reel over on Instagram. Was it yesterday? I don't know, maybe the day before. And I was just like typing it all out, channeling it for the whatever it's called, for the title and all the things for the reel. And Mother Mary came through, and her message was also about let the tears flow. Like, you have not been forsaken. These tears that you need to release and let flow carry lifetimes of extreme pain and loss and all these things, suffering, and all the things, right? And so she's almost like, because again, part of being a generational curse breaker, 9 times out of 10, you have like some karmic family members, people around. It could be your parents, it could be siblings, it could be aunts, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandpas. But it's like 9 times out of 10, you've got some pretty gnarly karmic people around you in your family. And that doesn't mean they're evil. I mean, sure, some of them can be, for sure. Because of all of the, it's like a, on a soul level, we're all love, right? So if you have people like that, it's because I'm getting tortured soul, but I don't want to say that. It's because of what I just talked about, the extreme trauma and all the things that have been just suppressed. And that can send people into, violent states, that can send people into control, right? Like, I have that in my family, people who are just, they want to control everything. And they want to, a big thing in my family is everyone is wanting to be right about stuff. And I just don't care about that kind of stuff. I never have. So it's like, you say something and, oh no, that's not right. And that's like, they'll go out of their way to try to prove you wrong or something, that's all ego driven stuff. You know what I mean? I actually had a family event, like not that long ago, like a few months back. And I was sitting at a table with my grandmother and my one aunt, and I love them all. I love them all very much. But I can also, I've always been able to pick up and see through things, right? So, they were, my grandpa, who's adopted, okay, he was adopted. This is not my biological grandfather. My biological grandfather has passed on my dad's side. So that's my Mexican side, the Lopez side. But my grandmother got remarried years and years ago. I mean, she literally got married to him the year I was born. So he is my grandpa. Like, he is a grandpa. My biological grandfather, my dad's dad, was an abusive alcoholic. He was very abusive. So we saw him here and there, as the years went on before he passed, but we weren't close. I probably saw him maybe 10 times my whole life before he passed. But anyway, so my step grandfather, they were talking about, I guess he, because he's adopted, he got like, the ancestral, like DNA, whatever thing to like see like what his, like what his races are and, all that stuff, the breakdown of it, how they do that. And my grandma, I was like, you should do one, grandma, and my aunt kind of chimed in and she's like, she doesn't need to do that. We know what we are, and all this stuff. And I looked at my grandma and I said, Grandma, I get so much Native American vibes from you. Like, it's so cool. Because I do, because you guys know, obviously, I'm a past life reader. Like, I connect to it. I don't know how it all works. I just can, and I do. And she was like, and my grandma, she obviously knows my gifts and stuff too. And she's like, I love that. I've always loved like Native American stuff. And then, my aunt chimes in and she's like, that's ridiculous. Our family is from Pennsylvania and we came over from here and there's no way. And I'm like, okay. All right. You know it all. Okay. And that's just how I am. I'm just like, okay. All right. Like, sure. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, people who are just like, they attack. So I know a lot of you guys connect with that. And you've dealt with a lot of energies and people like that. They don't understand you. And because they, people don't, what they don't understand, they fear. And when they fear stuff, they become mean a lot of the times, right? So anyways, so Jesus coming forward, it's like the same thing. It's like, he was, we know the story of Jesus Christ, right? Like, and it's like a reminder of like, the battles and the wounds and the pain is, and the suffering and different circumstances and things, it is to strengthen you. These are initiations, and sometimes it's karma, and sometimes it's stuff we need to heal and clear, right? Obviously. But a lot of times it's stuff that's projected upon you from others, just like Jesus, right? So anyways, so that just came through very strongly. So I just wanted to like acknowledge that, like, the ones who are, like I said, the outcasts, the black sheeps, the one who, get picked on, projected upon, the ones that, like people try to, take their power, things like that, are the generational curse breakers. They are the ones that are the wounded healers. You know what I mean? So, it's a lot. It's a lot. Sorry guys, I'm missing some of the comments because I'm talking and I'm looking this way. That's why. So I, can just like focus on what I'm thinking about. Let's see here. I finally realized how much I've learned and how resourceful I become from going through all the tough stuff, and my troubles are minor when you put it into perspective. Yeah. And there's, I look at, like, and that's how I feel too. Like, I don't want to diminish anyone's pain at all because, everyone has their stuff, right? But, I look at like, just other people's situations around the world, stuff like, and I'm just like, wow, like, when things feel like just, oh my gosh, for me, it's like, I see it from a different perspective of other people where it's like, like, but look what they're going through. Look what happened to them. Right. Like, so, and that's the compassion within us too, right? The love within us all, we have that compassion, oftentimes for more so for other people than for self. Right. So anyways, I'm going to, I pulled out, this is my very first tarot deck ever. This is what I learned tarot on. So it's, I don't use it very often, at all. Actually, I don't ever use it on the channel or with clients. It's just more so my own personal deck for me. But I just felt called today to pull it out for the collective message to see what wants to come through. So I'm going to channel it like that, and we'll just see what wants to come through, for past life stuff. And then I'm going to get into the past life live readings, which don't mind I actually have really nice penmanship, but I was channel writing. Okay. So when you channel write, well, for me, when I channel write, because channel writing is like, you don't follow, maybe you misspell the word, who cares? Maybe, you don't worry about the period and the comma and the apostrophe and the, you know what I mean? You're just like going, because it's just coming through. So I channeled, what I did was, so everyone who, prepaid for a mini past life read today, I connected to your energy because I would never do that normally, but when you pay for a reading, that's your consent of saying, I want a reading, and I give you permission to connect to my energy, right? So, so I sat down, this morning before I had to run my errand and stuff, but I sat down this morning and, just like connected to each of your guys' energy, who's on the list, who, like I said, who paid prior, and just channeled what came through, which was actually pretty cool. Like I really liked that. So when I do these, I may just do that going forward. Obviously, if you pay during the live or, at the time of the live, and then I have to channel it like live like that. But yeah, it was cool. So I hope you guys, I know you guys will connect. And the past life readings, like I always say, like they are unpredictable. They can be very heavy at times, actually. Like a lot of the times when I'm doing Akashic readings for people, the lifetimes that come through, because in an Akashic reading, they're an hour long. And so usually, sometimes just one lifetime comes through, and it's just like that whole hour is just like an in-depth dive into that life and right? But usually it's like 2 or 3 lifetimes that will come through within the hour. Why was I saying that? I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. It'll circle back. It'll circle back. So hi everyone, welcome in. Hi Emily, hi love. Why was I saying that? There was a specific reason. I don't remember. Okay, whatever. If it needs to come back through, it'll come back through. It's like when you have a word on the tip of your tongue, it's like on the tip of my mind, you know? It's like that. So let me just get a couple. Okay, so let's connect to a past life message for the collective. And I already invited Jesus into this message as well. So if anything comes through on that end, of course, I'll share that too. You know, I can't speak for other people who have gifts like mine, but like, it's like he's like right here, like behind. He's standing behind me on my right side. So I feel the presence. It's like having some. It's like when you can feel someone staring at you, you know. But you know, and then you turn and yes, you're right. Someone's staring at you. You could feel it. It's like that. That's how the presence comes through. Even when I do like mediumship readings for like loved ones on the other side, stuff like that. It's the same thing. I feel them come through. So he's here. So let's see. And there's a lot of support right now for what a lot of people are purging and healing at this time because, you know, we're rising up very quickly and we can't rise into our highest, truest self and be in alignment with that if we're still carrying around a bunch of heavy baggage, if we're still carrying around dense emotions, trauma, you know, again, past life stuff from this lifetime, past the other past lives, things like that. So a lot of people are really feeling a lot right now is what I want to say. You know, kind of a way that I would describe it that I've been, you know, noticing with like, you know, clients and just people comments, you know, things that come through, whatever, people who send emails to share or like, you know, it's literally like having like a kind of like a gloomy dark cloud, like kind of hovering over you. Maybe it's not there every single minute of the day, you know, but it's kind of like just an overall kind of vibe is what I want to say. You know, and it makes me very sad for the collective, but I also know, right, it's not like, because I feel, right, like what other people are feeling, like, and it hurts. It hurts. So like, see, I even want to cry right now. But it's for the highest and greatest good, you know? And so if my job is anything at all, okay, like I just, it's to show up and like remind people of that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta go through this but it's for the highest and greatest good. And it won't always be like this. You know, everything is cycles, right? So collectively, we're just moving through another cycle, Pluto and Aquarius, like we can't take it with us into where we're going, right? So, okay. So anyways, oh, exactly. Look, I was just like shuffling the cards a little bit, just talking and sharing, and look what's on the bottom, emotional loss. So this is what a lot of people are struggling with, but like also like having to move through, and it does feel like a struggle for many, you know, it's almost, and that's the message that I was gonna, be recording for the channel, is, well, kind of like what I was talking about, like bigger the pain, bigger the purpose. But it's just like, it's not always going to be like this, but I don't know. You know what? Let me just read the cards because I'm like, there's like so much coming through that I'm like, it's like fumbling your words, but it's like fumbling your thoughts. So, oh, thank you, Maria. Yeah, thank you. You know, and I'm just not like, you know, and fortunately, you know, I'm seeing more and more people like this, but like, you know, we all have our destiny, right? So, you know, but it's like you see like, you know, readers out there who are just like pumping out cards and love messages and, you know, but they're not teachers. They're not meant to teach people or guide or lead, you know? you know, and it's crazy because it's like you see like the true spiritual channels, and those are the ones that like they just like being a light worker, they take longer to grow. They don't get as many views, right? That's how like the darkness works against us. But the people who are just like, you know, every single day saying, right, like, you know, they're gonna message you and this person that and da 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 da, right? Like it's like, you know, you guys know what I mean. Those readers, wow, OMG, Libra, you know, you need to hear this. But first, you know how they do those clickbait titles, and they've got like 40,000 views per video, you know, which is crazy, right? I mean, good for them, but it just shows like how this all really works and how things work against people who are really trying to like bring healing and help and like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's like that for every single you know, like I know there's like really amazing spiritual people and guides out there who, you know, they do have those, but it's just funny. Like it's just crazy to see it all. So emotional loss, that's what so many are feeling right now. But this is past life, right? So this is what you have dealt with over. I mean, see the spiral? Like for me, like each of these is a past life, okay? And it all connects back to his heart space, okay? So it's like 1, 2. I mean, this is like how many incarnations just right here, boom, 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 right here, right? Okay, and that's like nothing, okay? Like if you're like an ancient type energy soul, like, I mean, this would go on for days on end, right? So there's so many lifetimes, so much that can come through. That's why the past life readings are fun, because it's like you never know what's going to come through, you know? And you sometimes every once in a while I'll be guided to go back to a lifetime that I've already talked about, but it's for other things to come through. But for the most part, every single time I do an Akashic reading for someone, it's always new. It's past life stuff that comes through. It's different every single time. But this is literally like, this is the deep trauma, the wounds, the lineage stuff that I was talking about. It directly it's blocked the heart. It's been dealing with people in past lives and even in this lifetime who are extremely blocked off emotionally, or, you know, maybe they, you know, show some love, but they're very shut down, like on a deeper level. That's what I'm talking about. So like generational curse breakers are the ones here who are literally like feeling it all that other people refuse to feel, right? Triumphant successes after that. I love that. Okay, so it's like to let you know that like no matter what, and maybe like for some, maybe some people aren't really feeling that right now, right? I put this in one of my Instagram stories the other day where, you know, some people who are maybe less awakened, okay, we'll say that, like they're less awakened, you know, maybe they get angel numbers and maybe they have started an awakening. But I just know that a lot of people, you know, that like, you know, are around me, that things like that, like they may not be really feeling the deep, intense, like purification process right now to rise up, because some people right now in this point in time in Earth's history are meant to rise up very quickly, because you're right. We call them the new Earth leaders, right? So it's like you got to go through this deep cleansing purification process so you can rise up into who you're truly meant to be, right? But other people around you who might be, you know, getting, you know, oh, I get 444, I get 222, right? Like, maybe they're just like skating on by in this energy. And I said, maybe they'll feel it a year from now, maybe they'll feel it 3 or 5 years from now, right? We're all in different stages and timelines. Either way, like if you're meant to rise up and awaken and all these things, it's going to happen. But I just know that the people who are going through the most and have been, I would say probably since October. Okay, so October, November, December, January, we're almost to February. So the last like I'm going to say 4 or 5 months at least. But October, when the eclipse season started, and just all that's kind of like for me when like stuff started, I started really like noticing the difference of the deep purification and the rising. And then it's just gotten more intense since then. So that might resonate with some of you guys, but okay. So let's see what else wants to come out from this. And then I'm going to, you know what, actually, let me just pull a couple messages from an actual, I need to make my own past life like message deck, because this is past life oracle from Doreen Virtue. But, and it's awesome, but it's not very, like, I mean, in all reality, like a past life deck for me should be like that thick, like, and it should be packed to the rim with like all kinds of stuff. But this is good for just like basic, whatever, you know. See, and forgiveness, as I just like move, right? So the forgiveness, the white doves, again, you often see Jesus with a white dove or white doves around him, things like that. It's very connected to him. Obviously, it's like the Holy Spirit, God source, things like that, the divine. But forgiveness, okay? So I feel too, that's a big message of forgiving your own past, like forgiving yourself, forgiving your past, and forgiving people who have wronged you, hurt you, brought injustices to you, betrayed you, deceived you, you know. And I know that it's easier said than done, but, you know, we forgive them for ourselves so we can stop harboring that resentment or pain, things like that. So this is a message of that. It's time to forgive. And I think for a lot of you guys, it's forgiving yourself. Okay, like how I talked about, you know, like the whole, like, you know, light worker starseed thing, and, you know, maybe like not being able to hold a job, right? Or be in a job for a very long time because you start picking up on all the very toxic vibes, the energy, the people, just the, you know, all the things, right? Like the competitiveness, the politics, all that. And then it's kind of like in any, I don't know, kind of, I think anywhere you work, you can experience that, right? Like, because that's how this world and matrix has been set up, is a hierarchy. So, you know, that's why you have, you know, poor people, middle class, you know, the rich, the elite, right? Like that's how this whole thing was set up. That's what the structure of it all, it's being broken down at the same time. But it's definitely, I feel that a lot of like people out there, you know, they feel shame, okay? Maybe like, you know, oh, I came from a family that didn't have a lot of money, you know, so maybe you get uncomfortable when you're around people who do have money, right? And in reality, that should make no difference at all, at all, at all, at all. Money doesn't define us. Our soul, our heart does, right? So anyways, so that's just like an example, right? And it can show up in many different ways. So when I speak of forgiveness, that's what I mean. Like, you know, forgive your past, forgive the old stories. Like, don't shame, you know, because you were born into this and this happened to you and, you know, la, 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 whatever it is. It really is like, we have to like release that in a big way right now. So, okay. I know I'm kind of like all over the place. Hi, Bappa. I haven't seen you for a minute. I just happened to look over. Definitely felt it Saturday. Yeah. Aw. Yeah. And I feel like it is like that, you know, like it's, you know, it could be like this, you know, kind of like in waves. And especially like because we're being blasted with these freaking solar flares, solar storms. There's so much energy being pushed into our planet right now. And that's a part of it. It's light. It's lighting us up. And it can feel very intense where, you know, you might have high anxiety one day, you might have blissed out energy the next day. You might feel like, you know, you might not be able to sleep for nights at a time, or maybe you just have like broken sleep at this time. A lot of my clients have been experiencing that. A lot of people's like nervous systems are going all crazy. So that's why like you probably will see a lot of like, you know, spiritual teachers out there talking, like incessantly talking, probably to the point where it gets annoying, like repetitive, right? Where and even me, I always say that. And I'm like, you guys are probably sick of me saying this, but it's like, you have to get outside. You have to connect to the sun. You have to connect to nature. Like, I swear, if we don't, we'll go bonkers. Okay. Like it's so important. And it's very healing. We know that, but also like, you know, being very hydrated, drinking a lot of water, because water is obviously, it's like, you know, good for you and all the things, right? But it's also a form of cleansing and purification, you know, setting intention with the water of, you know, removing what needs to go, flushing out what needs to go, you know, purifying, cleansing, Call on your angels, call on your guides, whoever you feel you need to call on, you know, and have them bless the water for you, you know, and then drink the water. Eating healthy, good foods is going to be very important right now. And I talked about this like recently, where it's also like we're being prepared for like the next levels, right? We're being prepared for what's to come. We're being prepared for the things that are going to take place in our life that we have no idea about yet. Okay. So like I'm talking maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, right? But it's, you know, I think mostly probably within the next 5, 10 years, we're gonna see why we've been initiated in such a huge way. If it even takes that long, but you guys know what I mean. It'll be an integration process as things start falling away. But we have to have a physically strong body. And I think just a lot of people out there right now are just feeling like exhausted, you know, which that the energy that's coming through, it can make you feel like that, exhausted. So, you know, make sure you're taking time for yourself. But anyways, that's just, again, like very important. Why are the comments not moving? There it goes. All right. Okay, so let me just get a couple more of these. Where am I at? 36 minutes. All right. Balance. Yeah, everything's leveling out. So this past life energy that's coming through, like you've known so much like imbalance, injustice, you know, and it doesn't mean that like every lifetime you lived has been like some torturous, crazy event, but I would dare say that many of them have. There's been a lot of trauma, a lot of pain. And those typically tend to be the kind of lifetimes that come through when I do past life messages for people. But this right here is letting you know the angel is showing up. The angel here of balance is letting everyone know that things are balancing out. So if it has felt very like this as of late, or however long, maybe the last few years, maybe the last 6 months, right? I don't know. There's a leveling out that's taking place. Okay. So, and then just like this angel is kind of like rising up, like, you know, from the light into the heavens, it's like the same thing for us. This is our higher self right here. Okay, so it's all leveling out. Sorry, I'm like trying to read the comments really quick. Yeah, I agree with that too, Maria. I think about the next 3 to 5 years, but you know, the age of Aquarius with Pluto in Aquarius, I mean, it's gonna last for 2 decades. So the world is never gonna look the same again. That's for sure. So, okay, let me go ahead and then look, love begins, love begins. So I think that, and we have 111 here too. Things are balancing out because love can't begin until this happens. Okay. So, you know, a lot of, you know, constantly, like, I know a lot of people, like, they, you know, constantly obsess about, you know, when am I going to meet this person? When am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? You know, and what the message with that is, it'll happen when this happens, right? So that could be a message for some of you guys. Probably not those of you guys who are here in the live chat, but like, you know, I don't know, because I know a lot of you guys in here, and you guys have been doing a lot of work in balancing and stuff. But still, even me, I still have great imbalances that I'm still working through, right? So, you know, it's a process. But when the more we balance, this will come in, and then this victorious, triumphant success as well. Okay, so it's like I just feel after a time of this, it's like the message here is letting you know, like, you're clearing a lot of this from past lives, so it has felt very imbalanced. Okay, but things are balancing. Like, it's like weights, right? So if on one side of the weights you have all this trauma, you know what I mean? It's got to be leveled out, right? So you got to like remove the trauma from the weights so the scales start to level and balance again, right? So I feel that, you know, collectively, you know, a lot of people are kind of like here, you know what I mean? Some people are way here, right? But I feel it's like more so like here, and it's like everything that's kind of being pushed through and that people are, you know, releasing or working through at this time, lessons being learned, initiations, all that, that's what's balancing it out, right? So, and I feel this like beautiful energy is, it's like here, it's here, it's around us. Not too far off. is what I want to say. Okay. So let me get, let's see, what else wants to come through? Past life messages. Ships. Yeah, your ships are arriving. Do not despair. Ships used to be, you know, obviously for many lifetimes, like this was the only form of travel. If you wanted to get from one place to the next, you had to go by sea, or like, you know what I mean, country to country. You had to travel on ships. So many of us, you know, we've experienced maybe a lot of pain on ships, right? Maybe we died on a ship. Maybe we caught some kind of disease on a ship, right? You know, back in the day, like throughout all history, like it's very common, right? You starve to death. Maybe you get lost at sea. Maybe, you know, you get caught somewhere where there's no wind in the sails for days or weeks at a time, and everyone's rationing food and water because you can't drink the ocean water. So you pray for rain, you know what I mean? But it could be very, there basically, like, there could just be some trauma around this, I think, for a lot of people who are walking the earth at this time. Myself, I feel for sure. In fact, I know that. But it's for me also like your ship's arriving. Okay, so Atlantis is showing up as well. Confirmation, past lives of Atlantis. This is ancient energy, Atlantean energy. I mean, you got to think, like, what was it? Atlantis fell, what? Don't quote me on this, but I want to say like, no, I don't think that's right. 10,000 years before Jesus or something like that. But I could be wrong. I always get the timelines mixed up. Angels, spirituality, and religion, confirming that you guys are angels, earth angels. Angels upon earth. Also, what I'm getting with this is in this lifetime, there has been many angels that have come to you. Okay, and like you know, they say, like, you never know who you know who you're talking to. You never know who might be an angel or something like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of angelic assistance that has come to you in the form of a person, and that could be different for everyone. It could be, you know, someone who I don't know. I can't even think of an example, but it's just that just came through very strongly. So you might think back and go, oh, I know who she's talking about, because this is, you know, this was okay. I'll give you an example. Here's an example. I've talked about this before. At one point I was working at Starbucks, and I had a customer come in one day, and I had been calling on like my angels and stuff, right? So one day I have this customer come in. He what was it? It was like the call ahead whatever order thing. So picking up a drink. And he looked at me, and I like kind of saw him look, and, you know, and he was like a middle-aged man, you know, so I'm used to men staring. Okay. So I was like, okay, is this guy being a creepo or what, you know? But it didn't feel like that. And then he looked and he goes, I know this is going to sound really weird. He goes, but I was told to give this to you. Okay. And what it was, you guys know those little paper books, you know, they're thin little paper books of like the angels, or, you know, different things, you know, like that. I don't know, but that's what it was. It was a little paper book of the angels, all these different angels and their names and what they're about. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Because it was confirmation that my prayers were heard, because I was asking so much from my angels at that time. And then this random stranger comes in, and he says, I don't know why, but here, you know, I'm told to give this to you. And it's a book of angels. And guess what his name was? Michael. Archangel Michael worked through this man to get to me. I was like, my mind just like exploded, you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. That's like the craziest, you know, just things. Or maybe you've been the angel that has helped someone in that way, right? But I feel that they show up for us very unexpectedly in different ways, different forms. And maybe it's not something like that where it's like, you know, that like, you know, but they show up all the time. You know, it could be, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be like you're having a really shitty day and then you go to, well, we'll say a coffee shop because I just talked about coffee shop, right? You go to get your coffee, you have a really shitty day, your morning's been just crap, you know, you just everything, you know, is going wrong and you're hitting all the red lights and you're almost late for work, right? And then you go in and you order like, you know, breakfast sandwich and a coffee, right? And the person in front of you pays for it, like paying it forward, how people do that. Okay, in that moment, that can brighten your day, like, wow, thank you, right? That could be a touch from the angels. You know what I mean? So a lot of starseeds, you know, on Earth at this time are connected to Atlantis. You know, we probably had many incarnations there. A lot of probably trauma from past life memory of when Atlantis fell, if you were there when that was happening. When that really dualistic stuff started, it was like certain high priests and, you know, priestesses, things like that, they started kind of, you know, instead of working their gifts and magic for the highest and greatest good of all and of Atlantis, they started getting like self-serving, where it was like, you know, well, I wonder what would happen if I do this and, you know, how it will help me. Anyways, it started creating, and that's just like one example, but it started creating the duality, okay, that wasn't there before. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then eventually Atlantis fell. And fast forward, here we are today, right? Whoop. Let's get one more. The Celtic Cross. That's another one. This is a big part of me personally, my past life energy as well. The Celtic energy, the Gaelic energy. So for a lot of you guys, this might, you know, resonate for you as well. Now, the Celtic Cross actually, also, I mean, in one of my oracle decks, it is, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the Celtic Knot. I'm thinking of the Celtic Knot, but this is what reminded me of it. Okay, so nothing's like an accident. So the Celtic Knot represents unconditional love, eternal bonds, eternal, because it's the Celtic Knot. It cannot be undone is the point. So I feel that very strongly too. And I do feel like, meaning like people that you have had soulmate energies, like past life energies, past life soulmates, things like that, that you have unbreakable bonds with, unbreakable ties with. It's almost as if like for many people out there, they, right, you had to come and you it's like you both had to come and like to Earth and do the work. And I feel that many people are going to start coming back into union with these soulmates. You know, I know a lot of people are on their twin flame journey, but like, you know, the truth of it is with free will involved, like there's no guarantee like that a twin flame is going to return back. And that's not the point of it anyways, to be honest. And I talk about this all the time. It is not about the romantic lovey-dovey. Are we going to go on dates on, you know, to the movie Saturday night? Like that's just like, it's about coming back into like being activated to the higher self and coming back into union with yourself and balancing that out. And when you do, you rise, and sure, it'll affect the twin and like the dynamic in that way for sure. They'll feel all that too, but you'll start attracting in soulmates who are vibrating at that level that you are, right? That frequency that you are. And that's what I'm kind of getting here. So, and we've been talking about this kind of a lot lately, where it's like these new soulmates showing up, but they're not like new soulmates. They're like very powerful past life soulmates. The Celtic Cross too, I think for me, it speaks like the cross. We'll say that. Okay. Like it speaks of a lot of people with past lives. They've had a lot of condemnation, you know, they've, you know, made like holy vows in past lives, you know, that actually went against the grain of your true soul essence and purpose, you know, things of that nature, you know. So I think this could be a message for some of you guys, if that resonates, to release yourself of any oaths that you've taken and vows that you've taken, okay, that are not for your highest and greatest good and soul's true purpose. Okay, that's very important because that can be very binding, right? Any kind of contracts, things like that, right? Yeah, that's what I got for that. Okay, so I've released myself from stuff, you know, over the years when it comes up or when it comes through or whatever. But I think it was like maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or something like that, that I actually did like a full like prayer type thing where, you know, I called in all my divine support and my angels and Archangel Michael helping to, you know, release me from any kind of binding contracts, oaths that I've taken, vows that I've taken, you know, things like that, that are, you know, not for my highest and greatest good. But maybe I had to do it at the time, right? So an example would be, oh, you're a witch, you know, we're going to kill you, right? And unless you sign this document that's formed by the magistrate, you know, saying that you vow your soul to the church and da-da-da-da-da and all this stuff, right? And you had to do it because otherwise they were going to kill you, right? That's just one example, but just things like that. Okay. Let's see. All right, so I think that's that for like just kind of tapping in a little bit to like the past life message. That was more like a share, a talk, a little bit of a reading, more than an actual like reading. Where is my angel messages? Hold on, guys. I have to find my angel messages. If I can find them. It's one problem when you have decks all over the place. I don't know where they are. What the heck? Sorry, guys. Found it. Found it. Ooh. Good thing I got up to look for this. I'm actually going to pull a card from this deck, too. The Divine Masters. See what the Divine Masters want to say. So let's get a message from them first. What messages do we have in regards to Bridget? I love her. She's goddess that connects to Mbok, which is what's today, the 30th? February 1st through what, like the 3rd? Something like that. Marks the halfway point between winter and spring. So it's a very powerful time to start like doing, you know, like just setting intentions, manifesting, spring cleaning, maybe doing like a fertility altar, you know, white candle, green candle for, you know, green is obviously like earth energy, white, speaking of like divine energy, sovereign energy, God source, whatever you want to say. That's just for me, you know, but you feel called to do whatever you feel called to do. Fruits, pomegranates, oranges, you know, things like that. Or for me, that's pretty sufficient. Anything else that you feel called to, that's like abundant energy. You could look up stuff that's good for it, things like that. Actually, I have something I could post too, so if you guys are interested in that, I'll do it. You know, finding like, you know, kind of like here where I'm at in California, it's winter, it's cold, it's been raining, it's like gonna start raining again for like 4 or 5 days straight, like I think tomorrow. and it's kind of like the sun's coming in and out. But the green is starting to kind of come up. So you're already kind of seeing like the first like signs of spring, right? So that could be a very powerful thing actually, which is what I think they suggested on one of the things too. Maybe finding some of like a first spring flower or some of the very first flowers that you might see like blooming and putting that on the altar or in a vase on the altar, things like that. Paul the Venetian, the gifted one, revealing hidden talents and opportunities to shine. Okay. So that speaks specifically for me, like a lot of you guys out there are, you're going to start, things are just going to start coming to fruition in your minds. Like you're just going to know, like it's going to just be like, it's probably the form of like a thought, idea, whatever, right? But it's like, one, spiritual gifts coming through very strongly, but two, it's about your hidden talents, the things that you came here to be and do, right? Like none of us are here because we were meant to stay in a 9-to-5 job until we're 75 years old. I don't think people work that long anyways, but you know what I mean, right? We came here for an earth mission, right? Maybe we are meant to be at somewhere like that for however long, but it's not like, that's not why your soul signed up to come here, right? Maybe that's just a part of the journey where you were meant to be a light in the darkness or a light at that time or for however many years, right? So whatever it is, but it's like hidden talents, gifts coming through. Serapis Bay is showing up, a paradigm shift, and that is literally what we are in. Like that's literally what just happened. We just started a new cycle, a new 20-year cycle with Pluto in Aquarius, moving into new higher timelines, activations to grow, make the necessary changes. And that's literally what we've been talking about. Like this is what has to happen in order to grow. You have to make necessary changes with self, with people around you, situations, whatever it is. The gifted one, I love that. Because that's what we are. We're the gifted ones, right? Mother Mary's coming through. Okay, so she's showing up. I spoke of her earlier. A miraculous encounter. It's funny because I just talked about that whole like angel book and the Michael guy, and that was a miraculous encounter. Divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. And I think this is a big one too, is like truly remembering like how powerful you are. Releasing the physical limitations and illusions. You know what I mean? Like, if you will it and you can move into the energy of it and trust in it, the universe will co-create with you and make it happen, right? And I think that's, it's almost like it's giving me the example of like, oh, well, you know, I've been in the same job for this long and I only make this much money. And I know I'm, you know, but I would love to make, you know, X amount of dollars per month, or I would like to make this much money per year. Well, if you will it, it will come. If you build it, it will come. Right? And I think that's what she's saying here with this. Do not be afraid of being powerful. Remember how powerful you are. Okay? Some of you guys are going to be having some divine experiences, miraculous moments, okay? Maybe, you know, Mother Mary or another ascended being or ancestor or angel comes to you while you're in a dream state or you're in the astral. And you wake up and you're like, holy, whoa. You know what I mean? That's happened to me. And when that happens, it's like, it's crazy, you know? But then again, it's like, that's the self-limiting belief, because it's like we go, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This is so cool. But at the same time, if you think about it, like we're all one. Like they're just in a different dimension. You know, we're just in a dense dimension. But it doesn't, you know what I mean? So it's like for me, it's like we're equals in that sense, right? Ishtar is showing up. Inner learnings, follow your heart, truth prevails. Okay. I think what I'm getting with this is like just trying to stay in a place of love and gratitude and appreciation for the journey, for where you're at, where you've been, and even for where you're going, even if you don't know what that looks like yet, right? Have appreciation for the abundance that's coming towards you that hasn't showed up yet. Have appreciation for the soulmate, your kingdom spouse who's coming in that has not physically showed up yet, but you have gratitude and appreciation for what you know is on its way. And then truth prevails. So she's letting you know here, like, if you can stay in the heart space and you follow your heart and you keep doing what, no matter how tough it is, no matter how painful it is, you know in your heart what's right, right? Truth will prevail. You will prevail is the point. Okay. I love that Serapis Bey and Mother Mary came out too. Ishtar. I mean, they're all obviously divine masters and powerful beings. But these ones are very specific for sure. Especially Mother Mary. And it's funny too, because in this deck, she's all adorned in blue, right? The blue rose, Mother Mary, the cosmic mother. And I said, when, earlier I said Jesus was here, invited him in, but I said, what did I say he was wearing? Blue robes, just like that. Okay, so let's get a couple angel messages, and I'm going to go into the live mini past life reads for you guys. So, balance. We even got the angel of balance in the deck earlier, and that's why I said it's like things balancing out, letting you know, like, it might feel like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, or maybe that's how you have felt, or maybe that's situations that keep coming up for you. But things are leveling, they're balancing. Okay, like we had to go through this, and this to learn the lesson. And I love the saying where it says, like, it's okay to start over. It's okay to feel like maybe you're starting over, starting from scratch, or, like an example would be like you leave a job, and then you feel like, you have to start over again, right? Or you have to leave a marriage or a relationship, and then it's like, oh, I'm single again, and now I have to go through all this and start over again, right? You have to start from scratch. Well, this time you're not starting from scratch. You're actually starting from experience. Like you're starting over, but this time you have experience backing you up, right? So anyways, difference is a necessary part of human evolution, and everything in life is comprised of opposites, which together make life whole. If you light a candle in a room already flooded with light, the light of your candle would be indistinguishable from the light which already exists. Because of darkness, we are able to perceive the light. Both are necessary. That last part, because of darkness, we are able to perceive the light. Both are necessary. Because of where we've been, we are going to have so much power and strength and love and all the things, because this is what we've been through. So when we're in this higher state of life just flowing and it's happier and good things are coming in, and right, it gives you that perspective of appreciation, because had this not happened, you wouldn't know the difference. You would take this for granted, right? Miracle and love. Wow. And these flew out together, by the way. I'm sure you guys saw that. Both pink. Okay. It's giving me like Valentine's Day vibes here with the pink. Okay. So the miracle, it says, dearest one, even if all hope seems lost, let no hope slip away. For I, your guardian angel, am constantly by your side. Surrender all your concerns to me and trust in the healing power of love. Please believe that you are never alone. Together, we shall work through each issue or situation which is of concern to you. All heals with the passing of time. Magic and miracles are about to manifest. See? Remember the cards earlier? Triumphant success, which is like the Ace of Swords, and then love begins. Things had to balance in order for this kind of stuff to show up. And that's exactly, it's just confirming. The angels are just confirming everything that we just talked about and the stuff that I shared. Love. Negative thoughts and feelings are sabotaging your pursuit of happiness. We, your angels, are here to help you heal. Allow our healing light to flow through your heart. Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. Feel both your heart and mind aligning to your soul's sacred purpose, and unleash your divine potential through the power of love. Okay? Consciously infuse each negative thought or feeling with love and light. Okay? And I think, again, that's one of the biggest things right now is, you know, it's like if things, you know, if we're going through, you know, like tower moments or these like really like crazy initiations, and it's all for us to level up. But as things are happening, it feels maybe like very difficult to not have negative thoughts, or to not, you know, have like a faith in abundance coming if you feel like you constantly are lacking abundance, right? So they're telling you very clearly, infuse every negative thought and feeling with love and light, and align your mind to your heart and your soul, and things will prevail. And call on your angels, especially guardian angel. We all have one guardian angel for sure, who has been with our soul since the beginning of our soul's time. So they know you better than you will probably ever know yourself, right? So anyways, okay, so that's what I have for today for that. Let's put this over here. Oh, you know what, guys? Hold on one second. I have to grab my charger. It wasn't plugged in all the way. That's why. So hi everyone, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Okay, so I have 7 people on the list for today. And sorry, I'm just gonna scroll back really quickly a little bit. Okay, all right, so I didn't miss that many comments. All right, cool. Okay, so today, number 1 is going to be CJ. 2 is Rebecca H. 3 is Lauren and Mother. I'm doing yours together because I emailed Lauren, she knows, but it's a combined message. It's a combined past life. Then Marianne, Gina Long, and Emily. But yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. Here we go. So for CJ, okay, let me try to read my chicken scratch, my channel writing. Okay, so I wasn't given like a specific timeline as far as like when this was, but I would say probably in the vicinity of 400 or 500 years ago, maybe something like that. And I was immediately taken to Argentina. Okay. I don't know if it was called Argentina back then. I have no clue, which is South America, right? So I was taken to Argentina, and immediately I heard and got farmer's wife. Okay, so in this lifetime coming through, it was taking place in Argentina. You were a farmer's wife. And the way that I was seeing it was like, you know, like you worked right alongside, okay, like with your husband, and like, you know, there's other people around and stuff. But I could see like the big long like oh, and what it was, what you guys were farming before I go. It was a banana plantation, okay? So it was like a huge, you know, banana plantation, essentially. very tropical vibes, you know, but I could see like the big like bulks of banana like being carried like on shoulders and like holding them, like, you know how people hold, like, you know, they balance like bowls and all kinds of stuff on their head, and like, you know, India and Africa, stuff like that. It's a great, I mean, that shows, that's extreme balance right there, right? But it was like you walking, but you had like this whole like big bundle of bananas, like, and but you were like carrying like a lot, but other people were too. And then I was getting being an artist and a dreamer. A big dreamer is what I put, a big dreamer. But your husband was very controlling. This is the common theme for many of us throughout lifetimes, because the patriarchal role kind of set that into motion even prior. But this was someone who was very controlling. And that's why I got big dreamer, because you were someone where maybe you lived like kind of like a modest farm kind of life, right? But you had big dreams, big aspirations, like, you know, things that you probably would have pursued had this person not been like had control over you the way that they did. It was like they owned you, right? And that's how a lot of husbands, masculine men will say, have felt throughout history, is like, you know, you're my wife, so I own you. Like, you're my property. You know what I mean? And that's literally like what I got here. And then I put karmic soul tie. So again, this is someone who's karmic to you, and this would be someone who doesn't have to be someone that you were in a romantic thing with or have known romantically in this lifetime. It could be someone that you were friends with in high school, or it could be, I don't know, but this is someone who is a karmic soulmate, and you guys had balancing out to do in this lifetime. So it could be, you know, someone in your family, it could be, right? Doesn't even have to be a man. This could be someone who incarnated as a, you know, a woman in this lifetime, right? But I feel it strongly more as a man. But you were a very beautiful artist. Okay. So, you know, like what I'm seeing is like, I don't know how, what I'm seeing is like drying out colorful flowers and then breaking them down and then like adding like water or whatever you do to paint. So you were a really beautiful artist. You could visualize things and paint, and that's where you were like a big dreamer also. And I also was getting that you had a very beautiful voice. It was a part of your gifts. And that was kind of like the message that after I got this, I was like, well, why was this what came through? Like, what's specific about this, right? One, it's about, you know, your power and never letting people control you, and, you know, taking back your power in this lifetime, stuff like that, right? From men, father, I don't know, whatever. But it's also about remembering, I put tap back into creativity. So it's about tapping back into your creativity, your flow, remembering who you are, and having and putting like big dreams like into motion when it comes to that. So, you know, I don't know if you have a passion for, like, you know, artistry. Maybe in this lifetime you're like, I can't even paint, you know, or I'm not artistic at all. It's like the spirit is going like on a soul level, like it's there, you know what I mean? But it could be music, it could be anything, you know, it could be writing, but it's something about tapping back into your creativity. Your sacral chakra was very blocked in this lifetime because it, again, control with the stuff that you were very passionate about, right? Your creativity, your imagination, stuff like that. That's all sacral chakra. So it was like, it was just very heavily blocked, okay? So it could be, you know, music, dance, whatever it is. But there's something about that, tapping back into the creative side. It's going to help, because again, the stuff that comes through is usually stuff that we are still carrying with us on a subconscious level or whatever. If you have dealt, like an example would be a controlling husband, right? So that would be something that needs to be healed in this lifetime. So you would consistently be put in situations or, you know, connect with people who were controlling or trying to control you, etc., etc., etc. So there's something with that, okay, love? But that's what I got. So I know it's like so funny, but this is why I love doing these messages, because they're just so random, you know what I mean? But that's what I got, you know? So a banana farm plantation, and that's like how you made a living, basically. Okay. So that was for CJ. Make sure I said everything I wrote down. I also put highly intuitive and a hard worker, which is something that you still carry to this day. That is something that is ingrained in your soul, right? So, I don't know, maybe like trusting in your talents, your gifts, tapping into your creativity. I'm also getting with hard worker, like sometimes you don't have to work so hard. And I don't know what that means. It's a message for you, right? But it's like sometimes you don't have to work so hard. You know how people say work smarter, not harder? It gives me that vibe, that feeling, right? I think what it means is like really using your gifts, your third eye, being intentional, like getting mastery over your logical brain, your ego mind, that tries to keep you in comfort zones or safe, and really like extending your power out there and going, no, this is what I want. This is what I claim. This is what I see and vision for my future. I'm going to, what I say, big dreamer. I'm going to dream big. I'm going to dream big, bigger than what I'm dreaming now. Right. So that's what I have for you, love. Okay. Next one is Mayret. Oh, sorry, Mayra. Yeah, honey, did I skip you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I did skip you. I did. I think I said CJ and then Rebecca. You're second. Okay, so this is for Mayret. Okay, so I got Great Britain and then London, and then I put a question mark after London because I feel London, but I wasn't sure. But I for sure got like British and British accents, and I even put that British accent. And then I put wigs. Okay, so when I say wigs, I mean like, and then I put high society. So, okay, wigs were a symbol of being high in society. Like, the more money you had, the nicer the wig you had. Okay, like back in the day, like when they became fashionable. Which was, okay, so let me share everything else that you got. 1600s, somewhere between maybe 1642, 1651, okay? Died in childbirth. So this is a lifetime where you passed, transitioned out from childbirth, okay? But your child did not pass. It was a boy, it's a son, and this is a spirit baby that's still with you to this day. This is a soulmate to you. And then I put your husband died in war and battle. And then I had to look up because I was like war battle, like that doesn't like, I wanted to make sure. I was like, that doesn't really make sense to me. Like, was there even like some kind of a war or a battle? Well, turns out, and that's where I got, cause I got the 1600s, but turns out, that there was around these dates, in fact, the British, the British Civil War or whatever. So, and it was like, I think King George the First, was in rule at this time. You may want to look up these dates and kind of look more into this, but you were there, like this was where you were at this time. Okay. But you were, like, I just saw, it's funny because I saw you kind of like similar to like how you are now today in this lifetime, but very, very beautiful. Like I said, high society. So you were wearing like, you know, those really fluffy gowns, you know what I mean? That they used to wear back in the day like that. But like your home was beautiful, things like that. But it ended up being a very kind of tragic life for you because like your husband had died, and then, you know, then it was like you were with child, and then you ended up passing. But like on a soul level, like it's basically, it's like maybe it's a trauma that still is carried to this day is the point. Oh my God, that's right. You did have that dream about the baby boy. That's right. Yes. So, okay. And the message with that is, okay, that's still, I remember I was talking about this now. That is still a message of, a baby that is, you know, wanting to incarnate here and now, but it's not your first time being with this soul. Right. So anyways, I've had lifetimes where I died in childbirth, like several times, right? Like it actually women, it was actually it was common, right? Throughout the ages, because we didn't have all the stuff that we have nowadays, right? So we were just raw dogging it. You know what I mean? We had our midwives or people to help maybe, but you know, if anything could go wrong. Women bled to death. They sometimes couldn't get all the placenta out and they got sick, or they got ripped in half giving birth with the baby coming out. You know what I mean? Like it was very common. And for me personally, like I know that's the subconscious fear block, like because I associate the pain to childbirth and dying. So, I've never had kids, but that's not why I've never had kids. I obviously haven't met someone that I actually want to have kids with, but I know that that's a wound for me. Okay. So maybe some like doing womb healing, look into womb healing, or like a womb healing meditation, things like that. Okay. Cause you're holding the trauma there. It would be there, like in your womb space, the womb, they call it the womb chakra. Okay. So that's what I got for you, Mayret. And I will say that this husband, this is someone like, this was not like, an evil man or something. This was someone, that's why it was tragic, because this is someone that you really loved. This was like, you guys really loved each other. So again, strong soulmate energy there with that one. So, okay. So that's for Mayret. Okay. And again, it was 1600s, somewhere between 1642 and 1651. It had to have been, because that's when I looked it up, that's when this battle was going on. I forget what it's called and all the things, but you could look it up. But yeah. Okay. So next is Rebecca H. Okay. Rebecca, immediately I got France, and then I put south of France, or South France, Southern France. I don't even know where that, I know where France is, but I don't know, like, not familiar with like the south of France, but that's just what came through. Then I got immediately 1548 is what I heard. Okay. That's what came through. Parents died orphaned, raised by a madam. And the madam, like, don't shoot the messenger. Okay. So it was a madam who was basically, she ran a whorehouse. That was what she did. Right. But she took you in, and past life. Oh, and I put past life root chakra. I'll explain that in a second. Great abuse by the hands of men, accused of sorcery, but you were just a healer, but you also connected to high forms of magic. So essentially that's how you passed in this lifetime, because you were accused of this. And when that happened, the woman would be, sometimes they put you on trial, but more than likely the trial never went in anyone's favor to protect them, right? So confirmation of like just being very connected to magic, right? And very high level stuff. I did not get how you knew this, or who taught you this, or who, it wasn't this madam, okay, who ran this house. It wasn't that. But the past life, the root chakra holds a lot of past life trauma from obviously probably a lot of lifetimes, but in this particular, because you didn't feel safe. It was like from a very young age, you did not feel protected. You did not feel safe. For sure you had, clothing, food, shelter. But this was not an environment for a child to be in or grow up in. And the abuse was more so, like you were not, from what I came through and what I felt, you were not, in employment. Like when you got old enough, it's not like this madam, whoever she was, she didn't put you in employment. I think she cared about you, but she was also not a very good person. That's what I, picked up on. But she cared about you enough to like not do that, right? Like kind of very dysfunctional, protective type energy is what I want to say. But there were, it was like I want to say like rowdy energy. So like, guys would come in, they'd be drinking, doing what they will with the women who were employed there. But they would get handsy, or, you know, do perverted stuff, like, you know, probably smack you on the butt, and then, you know, things like that. But they could get very, right. But there were definitely instances, and I'm not going to go into all that. There were definitely instances for sure where you suffered great abuse by the hands of some of these men. So that's, again, there's something about, maybe, I don't know if in this lifetime you have felt like fearful of men, or if, you know, there's kind of like just this natural distrust with men, or it could be other people, anyone in general, actually, but it's specifically coming through as men. So I don't know, but this, hopefully, I always tell everyone, if I read past lives for you, always meditate on it afterwards. Like, whatever I say, meditate on it, connect to it, open yourself up to it, ask to see more of it. You know, you might, maybe stuff will come through in a dream or whatever, but there is some root chakra healing, and that needs to happen here. And like I said, this is just one lifetime. And this is my point of, like, us being, you know, starseeds, light workers, whatever. We've had so many past lives. So a lot of us, right, that, like, we can't even, it's not even like we can't even, like, begin to even touch the tip of the iceberg when it comes to past lives. I've read for people, I have clients of mine who come and they get Akashic readings, like, on a regular basis, and every single time. But the more I work with them, the more healing occurs. And that's what they share. And that's the whole point of it, is to help us remember, face it, you know, connect with it again, remember our power, remember who we were, remember what we've been through, and then heal it, work on healing with it, right? So yes, they're cool to get, and it's really neat to, like, you know, connect with that, but this is the point of it. So sorry, guys. Okay, sorry, I was just going back a little bit. I'm just reading the comments. Hold on 1 second. And then I'll move on next to Lauren and her mother. Okay, so sorry guys, I know I'm like chomping my gum all crazy. I love it, CJ. I love it. Aw, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, yoni eggs are really good too. Also, yoni steams, doing yoni steams, if you can make your own yoni steamer, or, you know, rig one up, or, you know, there's a lot of places, like, you know, healers and stuff, like, you know, you might find like someone who is like a Reiki master who offers yoni steams. All of that is phenomenal for womb healing, for root healing, sacral healing, sexual healing, all the things, right? So yeah, for sure. Okay, going up. All right, cool. All right, so Lauren and mother. And Lauren, I totally don't mind, like, on another day if I do these, like, giving your mom like a separate message, if you want to do that, you know, but it just came through so strongly, for it was a together thing. So okay, so this is what I put. First thing is a soul contract, sisters. I said to you in the email that I saw you guys, like, it looks like, you know, like, obviously you were like in dresses, but you were wearing bonnets. Mother was older sister. Okay, so your mother in this lifetime was your older sister. And then I put, like, protective, very protective. And I don't, you know, that, I mean, mothers typically are very protective of their children in general, right? But there's, I feel this, like, protective energy around her still. And it's always been there. And maybe even you guys, I don't know, you'll know better than me, but maybe you guys have even had a relationship throughout your life where it has felt more like a sister vibe, even though it's like a mother-daughter. It might feel like, you know, like sisterly almost, like, instead of so motherly all the time. I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but I'm just, that's what I feel or am picking up on. Okay, and then I put, so drunk, abusive father. Okay, so this, and then I put karmic repeating in lifetimes and breaking curses. So the abusiveness and alcoholism is something that that's why I put this. This is a part of what the generational curse breaking in this lifetime is helping with as well. Okay. And I don't know if that's something that runs in your family or not. You know, you know better than me, whether it's on your mom's side, dad's side, both sides, I don't know. But it's something that has affected the lineage in a great way. So it's a big one. It's a biggie. Okay, drunk abusive father took mother's life. So this, you guys saw, you guys witnessed your father in like a drunken rage, and what I was shown was choking. But you witnessed him like take the life from her, which was obviously very traumatic for the both of you. And then I put, okay, so there's poverty, you raised goats, colony of Virginia, 1716. Both were great beauties and both ended up marrying soldiers. So this was like obviously not that far off as far as an incarnation goes. So my money would say that it was probably one of, like, I would say probably the last incarnation before this one. Maybe you've had another, I don't know. But I think it feels to me like this would probably be the last one. Like, but I could be wrong. That's just how it feels. But your father, it's like kind of like a tale as old as time, where like you guys lived in poverty, very poor. You know, you raised goats and that's how you made money. But you know, the money you did have, it was like it would constantly be wasted or spent on your father's alcohol. Okay. So like the way that it feels for me and that I'm seeing it is like you guys, you know, you guys had days at a time where like you wouldn't eat, you know, and with the goat's milk, like you had goat's milk, but sometimes there might be things where the goats weren't producing or things like that, right? And then goat's cheese. So you had that, and it's like goat's cheese and bread. Maybe you really love cheese and bread, like in this lifetime too. I don't know. You like charcuterie boards and stuff. But that's what I was getting. Okay. But, and then colony of Virginia. So this would be here. Okay. 1716. And then, but you both, so as you got older, you both were great beauties. Like when I say great beauties, I mean like gorgeous. Okay. Like gorgeous. Like you had highborn men and things like that swooning for you, even though you came from nothing. And then I got the very last thing here was you both ended up marrying soldiers. They were just soldiers. They weren't like brothers or nothing like that, but it was just, you both ended up basically like, to me, what this feels like, it's very like difficult life, how it started out. And so again, with these wounds and the pains, and you know, there could be similarities to what I share here that you've experienced in this lifetime, or family traits, or maybe it's not directly associated, like maybe it's not direct to like your parents or you know, your father or something like that, but maybe it was like your mom's dad's dad or your mom's dad or your father's dad or things like that is what I'm picking up on. But I think more so on the mother line, if anything. And a lot of how I was talking about suppression earlier, there's a ton of it here. Okay. So, and that's why I put karmic. It's karmic. It's a repeating pattern through lifetimes. So this is a part of what these curses that are being broken are here now. Okay. But at the end, like what I want to say is like, you know, it just kind of, this is where it ended, but like, it ended up being a happy life for both of you guys, but the wounds ran deep is what I want to say. Right. So, you know, but that's what I got for you. Okay. So I'm like, these are like so intense. Like this is what I mean. Like with my, you know, with the readings, like I could go in further and further and further, you know, if I had more time, but I know you guys are cool with what you get here. So that is what I got for you, Lauren and Lauren's mom. But you guys are definitely like a soulmate. Like, this is not the only lifetime you guys have been together. For sure. For sure, for sure. You guys have been together many lifetimes in different forms, reasons, whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Probably, I would bet at one point or many points, like, you've been the mother to your mother. Is that, you know what I mean? Like, she was the daughter and you were the mother. In this lifetime, she's the mother, you're the daughter. But I'm sure there's been lifetimes where you have been the one to connect, connect to protect her and to be the mother to her. We are descendants of people that came over to Virginia on the Mayflower. Holy shit. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not surprised at all. Well, that would make sense. I mean, this is definitely like years after that, but they settled in the colony. There you go. So awesome. Cool. Love it. Okay, so Marianne is next, and then I have Gina Long, and then Emily, and then we're done. We're done. Cheese and bread makes sense, yeah. Me too. I love cheese and bread. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people do, but you have to think, like, in our past lives, like, you know, we had, like, cured meat, like, they, you know, venison and cured meats and salted pork and, you know, like, cheese was a huge thing, you know, cheese and, you know, apples or grapes or bread. Bread was a huge thing. I mean, you always were making bread, had bread, right? So, you know, for a lot of us, we're very much into that. I could eat cheese and grapes all day, every day. I love me some cheese and grapes or charcuterie board. But I think I shared that on a live not too long ago. Like, one of my favorite snacks to, like, eat throughout the day, like, as I'm working and just, you know, and even at night when I'm, like, settling down and I've had dinner and I just want, like, a little something, you know, I'll have some, like creamy Havarti slices with fresh grapes. And it's, like, so satisfying to me every time. Okay. So Marianne. Okay. Marianne, this past life, I was like, what in the what? But I'm not surprised at all because I've channeled stuff like this before for myself and for others. You know, we can connect as starseeds. We can connect, you know, maybe you only connect as Pleiadian or maybe you only connect as Arcturian. But for me, like, I'll give me for an example. For me, I'm super Pleiadian, but I'm also super Sirian, okay? And then I'm also very Lyran, but I also have connected to the Arcturus energy as well, Arcturian. But the three biggest is, like, Pleiadian, Sirian, and Lyran. But for you, you know, so this is why I'm saying that is, like, you could have, you know, incarnated or had lifetimes in other star systems and other whatever. I don't even know. I don't know how it all works and stuff. But I mean, I do on a soul level, but Erica's here now. No, I don't. But in this particular lifetime, you're Pleiadian. Okay. And I immediately was getting a Pleiadian starship. Okay. And then I sat on a high council. Very powerful. Like, you were very, like, again, I don't know logistics of all this stuff, you know, as far as the Pleiadians go and Pleiades, right? But you were a very powerful Pleiadian, and where I was taken and shown was literally a starship, like, which would be a spaceship, okay? But it literally reminded me of, like, you know, like, being in Star Wars, like, stepping onto, like, a spacecraft and seeing all the things and the technology and, you know, whatever. But it was, like, it was crazy. It was cool. And then I got leader in cosmic war. You were a portal keeper. You knew portals others didn't. You knew of portals that others didn't. And then I got, they wanted you for knowledge of this. And what that means is, like, you know, obviously, like, there's portals and all kinds of shit, right? But, like, basically, like, it would be like how the captain of a ship has to know all the stars to navigate, okay? But it would be like you were a master navigator, Okay, so you were a master navigator of the Pleiadian star system, but other like places too. So when I say cosmic war, which quite literally were right, hello, this was, I don't know, this was back. This was not like, you know, a recent incarnation. It does not feel, it was like, this was a while back, because this spiritual war has been going on for a very long time. You knew how to navigate and where to go without like other beings or interdimensional beings or like ones that were wanting to harm or attack or control. I don't know. Again, I don't know the logistics of it. That's just what I get. But you were able to like navigate, and it's basically like taking back roads, you know, dodging bullets, like taking the back roads, like, right? And you knew of portals where you can like, where you could travel through them, and it would take you basically like where like you couldn't be found, or others wouldn't, you know, they would never find it, stuff like that. But it was like, again, it was very powerful what you did. And it was, that's why I said high council, because it's like you were highly revered for your knowledge of these things. And then I put, okay, so they wanted you for your knowledge of this. And then I put reptilian, fighter, transmuter, banishing them. So again, I don't know all the logistics of it, but it literally was that, like, you helped in the spiritual, like in the cosmic war. And you were one who helped to banish. And what I'm kind of getting is like, they didn't want to banish these beings because it's like they operate from love, right? The Pleiadians. But these beings were just so, it's like it's almost like you give someone the chance to redeem themselves, but they don't. They stay in their way. It was like that. So it was like there was no choice but to banish them. Okay? So you were also like a part of that, or in charge of that, or one of the, you know, Pleiadians in charge of it, or whatever, however it works. But yeah, so I don't know, you know, so you might get a lot of Pleiadian references. You might start seeing them now that like we've connected with this. Maybe, you know, connect, like call on your Pleiadian family, connect with them. You know, I don't know, but it was like, whoa, this is crazy. Okay. So, and I don't think Marianne's in here, huh? No, she's not. She is not. Hi, Alicia. I'll channel for you if you wanna get on the list. For sure. Absolutely. I do these, I mean, this is what you guys, I do live readings, general readings, you know, quite often, but I don't do the past life readings as normal, but I would like to. But I usually will post it or announce it. So you have to be just subscribed and have the notification bell on for the channel, and then you'll get notified when I do. All right. Okay, so that was Marianne. I'm like, holy shit. I've only 1, 2, 3, 4 people, and I'm like out of breath. I need to go get some water, guys. Hold on 1 second. And I like connected and channeled before I even came on. Okay, so all right, I don't know if Gina's in here or not, but that's okay. I'm gonna go grab some water real quick, guys. I'm thirsty. So Alicia, love, just let me know. It's 144 here in California. Okay. All right. So Gina, for Gina Long. Okay. So immediately this, and before I start, I would say that this here was your most recent incarnation. Okay. 1860s. Okay, present. Awesome. 1860s. That's just what I get. What I got. A nurse in the Civil War. Lots, like, and I mean a lot of trauma. And let me explain that. Because you were a nurse, it was you were helping to heal many wounded soldiers, right? Like we've seen like war movies or right where like they have the big like medical tents and women are in there and they're helping all the you know the wounds and people with like their legs blown off, stuff like that, right? So that's just what I saw, and it was just like very disturbing because it was like literally like, you know, and I know like many of us in past lives, like we've seen stuff like this over and over and over again, which is also very traumatic, right? Whether we remember it or not. It's ingrained within our cellular memory. So you had this, like, you were so brave, so good at what you did. And like you knew like healing modalities that like others didn't, you know? I don't know where you learned this stuff from. I have no clue, none of that. But you, and so, you know, so keep it, so the trauma is what you witnessed and what you saw. Okay. But then I put, okay, so then, but there was this one particular wounded soldier and you fell in love with this person. You guys fell in love as you were caretaking and rehabilitating this person. You guys fell in love, and this was like the love of your life. Like you guys were like each other's, like loves of each other's lives. And then I put strong, and I like underlined it twice. Strong past life soulmates. Okay. My guess would be this is someone that you would encounter in this lifetime, which I believe is why it's coming through so strongly the way that it is. And then I put saving each other so many times. So basically it's like you guys have saved each other over and over again in different ways, different forms, and different past lives. So in this particular lifetime, you saved him. But in other lifetimes, you know, this soul has saved you over and over. It's like this, you know, so it's like a deep soul, it's like a soul contract where you guys come together, you know, in different circumstances and forms, whatever. But it's like you guys always save each other in some way. Okay. But I mean, honestly, that's like the gist of what I got. It was like, it just came through. But the biggest thing that I want to emphasize, one is the past life soulmate is very strong. Okay. And this is someone that you would encounter again. Okay. I don't know, you know, I don't know if you've met this person in this lifetime, but it feels like it feels like they're, whoever this is, it feels like they're here in this lifetime, but I don't know that you've met them again. I don't know. Could be, but it feels to me like no, but it's more so about like the trauma and the things that you witnessed and saw. Okay. So again, like this is meant for us to like connect to and like bring healing towards things, stuff like that, because it's just stuff that maybe subconsciously we hold on to, or, you know, sometimes, you know, like an example, right, would be like someone like this, like you, right, like who witnessed a lot of like things like this. It might be very difficult to watch, you know, war movies or something like that, like in this lifetime, you know what I mean? So, but anyways, but that's what I have, love. So, you know, and I think that would be like what I'm seeing is like root chakra and heart chakra. So if anything, it feels like it affected that in this lifetime. Okay. So that was for Gina. And then Emily. And Emily, yours kind of jumped, like, it was like, what? Okay. So Emily, I put ancient Egypt and / Avalon, because literally it was like ancient Egypt, Avalon, like that. And I was like, okay, of course. Like, of course. But then it like kind of like was just more like an announcement of like where you've connected to and kind of who you are. But then I got immediately, I like basically saw like kind of like a crowd of people, and then I heard Jesus disciple. Okay, so you were like, you're obviously an old soul, so but you were literally a disciple of Jesus. And when I say that, when Jesus walked the earth, okay, he had hundreds of disciples. Okay, they weren't just the ones that they talk about in the Bible, right? Like he had hundreds of disciples. The ones who walked with him, who had faith with him, who taught his teachings, who taught others, who, you know, all the things, right? Mary Magdalene was a disciple, right? Like all, and many of us on earth at this time have connected to that maybe in some time or another, but it definitely came through very strongly. And then immediately it was Sister of the Rose, okay? High alchemical magic teacher, mystery schools, and then I got cloaking spells of protection, and then breathwork master. So this is the stuff that you taught. This is the stuff that you like, you weren't just like a walking, talking disciple and like, you know, connection with Jesus. Like you actually were like like the Sister of the Rose, right? Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Isis, like all these, right? But you taught this stuff. So that had to, if you're able to teach that stuff, that means that you were some kind of high level priestess. Okay. But you taught many. And this cloaking spell of protection is crazy because it's literally like on Harry Potter when he has the cloak, the invisibility cloak. Okay, if you guys have seen it, like, or Emily, if you've seen it, he puts the cloak over him and he's disappeared. Okay, that's literally what I was shown, but it wasn't a cloak. It was whatever you did, but you could cloak to protect. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but this is the kind of stuff that we are capable of. This is the power that we hold, right? So, and then breathwork master. So breathwork master, okay. And I feel this ties into something maybe that you are meant to do in this lifetime again, okay? The breathwork master stuff, okay? And this could be, you know, there's different, you know, forms of it, like channeling your chi energy, right? Or your nadi energy or things like that, right? Doing breath work to rise like the kundalini fire, right? And raise it up through the chakras and do all this crazy stuff. Like, well, it's not crazy. It's just what we've known from many lifetimes, right? But there's something like with that. But you were a master of this. So you were able to like show others and teach others how to harness energy and how to use it, right? To create and to do all kinds of stuff with. So, you know, I don't know. I feel that you would probably like, I don't know, maybe you already see stuff like this, but I don't know. I feel like this would probably be something that you end up being like connecting to or guided to, like, you know, developing more of an interest, like I said, in like, in breathing, breath work, you know, working with the prana, you know, maybe stuff like, you know, like qigong movements, things like that. Like it's all very much like this, but that is like such a powerful, I mean, our breath is the goddess. It is so powerful. So when we're able to breathe and like, let's say you focus on like, you know, you focus on like your sacral chakra, okay? And you breathe in through your sacral, but you pull up the energy from the sacral, right? Through the solar and then to the heart space. I mean, it's just crazy, like the stuff that you can do with it, but it's very powerful work is my point. So I don't want to like go too far into it because I probably just like, because I don't know like a ton of stuff about it. I know some things, but, you know, I don't like on a past life level, I know a lot of stuff about it, but Erica right here, right now, not so much. I just know some things about it, but it's just powerful work. Okay. So we'll say that, that's like, you know, you think of like Tantra and stuff like that. I mean, you know, Jesus and Mary Magdalene practiced that stuff, right? Like where it's like working with the energy and being able to connect to like, you know, not the physical body, spiritual body, your Ka body. It's called the Ka body, Ka. Things like that. But anyways, Yeah. So maybe look into that stuff. Maybe look up stuff about that. Read about it. If you want to, hold on real quick. Where is my book? Right here. And this might be something that maybe other people that are tuning in or see this want to get. Right here. The Magdalene manuscript. All right. It's channeling from an oracle who channeled this book from Mary Magdalene. And it's all about like her and Jesus and like their journey and all these things. So I think it would really connect with you. But it also speaks a lot of everything that I'm talking about as far as the breath stuff and harnessing energy. Trying to see if I could find maybe just a little paragraph to read. Okay, here, let me see. I mean, I'm not gonna like go too far into it, but just to like share a little bit. When I met Yeshua by the well for the first time, the mere proximity of his presence activated my internal alchemies. A serpent power moved up my spine as if I had practiced the disciplines I had learned, because she was going to mystery school since she was a young girl. And when she's talking about the serpent power, she's talking about the Kundalini moving up her spine. That first night we were together alone, arm in arm, lying next to each other. We practiced the sexual magic of Isis. The specific form of magic charges the Ka body with tremendous magnetic force through the power of physical orgasm. For when one has a sexual orgasm, there is a tremendous release of magnetic energy within the cells. As this energy spreads, it releases a magnetic potential that can be used. Okay, so just a little bit of it, right? So highly suggest Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion, I think I'm saying that right, The Alchemies of Horus and the Sex Magic of Isis. So I have a few books on that, actually, but it's really, really neat, and I think it would help you. Okay, so that is what I got, love. Yeah. Hi, Alchemy Kale, Magic Teacher. Yeah, exactly. That book. That's exactly that kind of stuff that it connects to. Oh, you have it on your book list. Cool. Awesome. See, everything is for a reason. Like, you already have that for a reason. And I just showed that to you for a reason, right? So beautiful. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Girl, literally today when I was wondering which past life might come through, I got the intuitive hit that it was going to be this. Wow. Yeah. Yep. See? Yeah. And like I said too, like, you're probably connecting to that as well, right? And then, this morning, like I said, I was, when I channeled this out for everyone, I was tuning into your guys' energy, so we could have even been connecting a little bit in that too. I love it. I think it's so cool. All right. So, okay. So I think I saw Alicia. Okay. Yes, Alicia, love. Oops. All right. Oh, Rebecca, I don't know, on the payment, it said Rebecca H. That's the only Rebecca I had before the live. So I'm assuming it's you. Maybe it just was a different, maybe not. I don't know. I only had one Rebecca, and the payment that came through said Rebecca H. So I'm not sure, love. You're very welcome, Emily. Always welcome, love. All right. Okay. So let me get... All right. So I'm just going to kind of tune in to Alicia's energy here. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so Alicia, love, you're in here, right? I'm assuming so. Okay, cool. Okay, so it took me just a second to connect, but immediately I was taken to, okay, so what's coming through for you, and I'm so cool. I'm like, I love this because like, you know, connecting with people, like it's been a minute since Native American energy has come through, okay? But immediately I got Native American, all right? So this is a time where there was still peace for the natives. This was before anyone from Britain came over to demolish them, okay? Let's just be real. That's what they did. So like the original settlers, like all the things, right? That's what they did. They pushed them out of their homeland. So you were a part of this tribe. I don't know what Indian tribe it is. But I just got Native American, and then I got bear, rabbit, crow. This has to do with your name, okay? This has to do with your name, bear, rabbit, crow. I don't know, like you would have to look up like maybe like the Native American, like, you know, languages or dialects. See, they're all going to be a little different too. Ooh, Navajo. Okay, look up Navajo, and like when this is done or whenever, but look up the words in Navajo for bear, rabbit, crow, okay? Because it was like your name or like what they called you, okay? So, but it was also like you're very connected to the bear, the rabbit, and the crow, and we know the crow is a very powerful. I mean, they're all very powerful, you know, animal spirits. But it was like a great honor or something, like whatever your name was, it was like a great honor and a very powerful energy. And then I got granddaughter chief. So you were the chief's granddaughter. And then I put it, oh my God, I can't even read my writing. Songstress in a songstress in charge of war songs and calling ceremony. So it would be like you were the one appointed as the granddaughter's chief, or the chief's granddaughter. When they, you know, like the Indians were very connected to spirit, to nature, to the elements, to the animals, to the, you know, to the sun, to the moon, to the, right? And so it's like they're like the songs that you would do would be to call, you know, like they say like rain dances, right? We'll say that, right? But I put war song and ceremony. So like when you guys would like gather for like a sacred ceremony, whatever that ceremony would be, maybe the ceremony was, you know, to connect and call forth, you know, abundant energy and fertile energy for food or for hunting and gathering, or maybe it was literally a rain dance, you know, calling on the weather, you know, we need this, right? Whatever it was though, it's a great honor. Like it's something that the chief chooses someone to do. And it wasn't just because you were the chief's granddaughter. Like what I'm kind of getting is like usually like a chief, you know, like it's like a daughter, a granddaughter, you know, like they would obviously be, you know, special and all that, but they wouldn't be like someone who does this. Okay. So that, but there's something with that. So you may, I don't know, like if you even connect with Native American energy at all, but that's what came through. But you played a vital role in this. So, and I don't know what it is, but the biggest thing is like bear, rabbit, crow. And looking up, and I that's what I heard, because I was like, gosh, they're going to be different. But then I immediately heard Navajo. You know, and there's different, you know, there's the Apaches, there's the Sweet Indians or the Sioux Indians. You know, there's the Mohawk, there's, you know, there's all these different types of, I mean, different tribes and things like that. But that's what I got here. Okay. So, and I'm not even sure where the Navajo were at as far as, you know, this country, like where they were located. So maybe you want to look that up too, and maybe look a little into it, like just maybe about them. And then maybe like I said, the words bear, rabbit, crow, for that. But yeah, granddaughter chief, songstress in charge of war songs and calling ceremony. So, and literally that's like what I was seeing was like, you know, like a great fire, and then like, you know, everyone's sitting around the fire. And it would be like, but you were the one like standing, going around and like doing the, you know, the songs of whatever it was. As other people play, you know, had like, you know, like little rattles and like drumming and things like that. It was a big deal is the point. Okay. Yes, I connect with Native big time. One of my guides is a Native American. I see him often. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just got full body chills. I just got full body chills. There you go. There you go, girlfriend. So, you know, my guess would be that you probably had several lifetimes with the natives or as a native. You know, and it's, you know, sometimes people are like, what? Like, you know, I'm from, you know, Switzerland, you know, how am I a Native American past life, you know? Well, we've incarnated in different places, different families, different lineages. I mean, I think for the most part, we connect to like where we, you know, we have like a soul family, and that's like where we go, right? But we go many different places, you know? So I love that. I love that. You're so welcome. Yeah, so, but for sure, look that up. Bear, rabbit, crow, the words bear, rabbit, and crow in Navajo. And that's how I got it. That's how I heard it. Bear, rabbit, crow. So it would be whatever those words are, like, you know, that would be like your name or how they called you or whatever it is, you know? So, yeah, neat. So, all right. Oh, shoot, Rebecca, shoot. You know what? I probably did miss, you paid prior, huh? I probably did miss you, love. I probably did. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, because the Rebecca that I channeled for is Rebecca Hammock. That's her last name. You're very welcome, Alicia. You're very welcome. Okay. All right. So let me channel this for you really quick too, love, since I missed you. I'm so sorry, love. Okay. See, this is why I'm always glad you guys confirm. Just like poor May read. I read off the list and skipped right over her, and she was number 2. She's like, hello? All right. Just close that out. All right. So for Rebecca. Okay. All right. So, okay. So in this particular lifetime, my love, you were incarnated as a man, which just I've had lifetimes as a man too. It's very common, right? Okay. And I was immediately, so not, well, it took me just a second, but I was taken to New Zealand, and then I saw a great horned, like a big horned ram looking animal. Okay. I don't think it's necessarily a ram. Maybe it is, but this is like, gosh, I wonder, like, it's like, I know that like some of the names of some of them, and I just can't think of it right now, but it was like a great, huge, like animal beast, right? With like the great big horns that were spiral around. That's why I did the spirals here, because it was like, representative of the horns. Okay. And then I saw you like standing on like this, like the cliffs of the ocean. Okay. With like waves crashing like into the like the walls of the cliff. And then I saw and then I got fisherman, hunter, great warrior, and then I put animal skins, because you were dressed in animal skins. You had like a bow, like, you know, bow arrows, things like that. And this like hammer whatever thing type thing, I don't know, like an old weapon type thing, but it was like a great big hammer type thing. But you were basically, so like, again, I don't know how all this works, but like you were hired by people who were like, you know, like wealthy, you know what I mean? Or wealthy people back then, however that looks, right? Maybe, you know, and I'm not really familiar with New Zealand. I've always wanted to like travel there, Australia also, but I don't know anything about it really, right? But anyways, you hunted and gathered like this, like fisherman, hunter, great warrior, and then I put animal skins. So I think that you also traded, like you made money that way, or you got paid that way, or however it worked. But then you also you traded animal skins from your hunts, okay? And it's like basically what I'm kind of getting and being shown is like you were the greatest, like you were considered like the greatest warrior, okay, of like all the land, okay, we'll say that, okay. So you were highly revered, like you were an important person to people, you know. You weren't like someone who, you know, had a lot of money yourself or came from money, is what I want to say, but you were someone who knew like you could track animals, you know, you could pick up on the like probably like the weather shifting and like things like that, you know. Oh, this is going to bring in, you know, all the herd of, you know, elk or deer or whatever they have over there is going to come over this way because, you know, the storm's going to hit, you know, things like that, you know. And I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but that's just like what I'm picking up on and getting from this. So, you know, why is this significant? Well, because I think that this is a lifetime where you actually were very alone. Because there, like what I see is nobody around you. Like you're literally, I saw just you standing on the cliff, this man. And the man, like the way that I am seeing it is like almost like it looked like a Viking type man, but it's not a Viking. It's not Viking. It's whatever New Zealand, you know, whatever kind of like, you know, tribes or people that they had back in the day, like, you know. And I'm going to say that this is probably, I don't know, maybe 800 to 1,000 years ago, something like that. It's a long time ago. This was not like over the past, you know, this was a long time ago. It was a long time ago, but and that's just what I'm getting is like this very lonely feeling where it was like, you know, it's like someone who is good at everything and they, you know, people really like them and, you know, all these things, right? We'll say it like that. But on the inside, you're very lonely. You know what I mean? Even though you might have, you know, lots of friends or people around you and stuff like that, it was very lonely for you. So I think I honestly don't know what the significance of all that is, but it's just, maybe, you know, you felt this in this lifetime, which I know a lot of light workers have, but yeah, but that's what I'm getting, love. But it was like, hold on. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So there was a woman that you love dearly. So this would go into like soulmates, but this where I'm seeing this was years after her death. So that's probably why. That's the loneliness of it. But yeah, I just was like getting like a shot of this. Like it was coming through because I'm like, what is the significance of this? But that's it. So that's where the loneliness, the despair came through. You know what I mean? So anyways, did you fall in love again someday? I have no idea. I can tell you all that, but what I can get is an extreme loneliness, like someone who's this great warrior, but they're so lonely inside. Right. But yeah, so, and again, like there was someone before, but they passed, whatever happened, I don't know. But yeah, I know. I've had lifetimes where I've connected to this kind of stuff, where like, I don't know, like if I watch stuff like in a movie or something and I see like a great warrior, like tracking, a deer or a stag down in the forest and they're super good at it. Like I super resonate with that too. So, I think probably a lot of us, or we had husbands that were great trackers or great hunters, things like that. Right. So, yeah. See, so, sometimes this kind of stuff, like, though, that's what I mean. Like, you can have these feelings of, that rise up maybe kind of out of nowhere. And maybe it's stemming from a particular past life or something where you've been holding on to this despair energy subconsciously, or like this, like very lonely feeling or whatever it is. Right. So, I've been sharing with you guys all the like craziness that's been coming up for me from past lives. Like, I'm like, what in the hell? Because it's so intense. It's so intense, and you're trying to like move through it and like live your life in the here and now in this lifetime and do all the things that we got to do in this reality. But we're processing and living and feeling all the shit from freaking however long and however many lifetimes, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's definitely intense. Yeah. So I felt that. Yeah. Because that was like one of the biggest things I felt was this just like someone who's like like looking off it's like literally standing, just envision like a warrior type, like I said, almost Viking looking, but it's not Viking. It's not Viking. Man standing on a cliff, handsome, muscular, built, right? Like all the things, in animal skins, but like the animal skins are blowing with the wind of the, because it's like on a cliff by the ocean. So it's like that air that's coming through. But it's just such loneliness, you know what I mean? And that was like the biggest thing. So again, like I know like these can be so crazy. They could be out of nowhere. Just like Marianne's, I was like, what in the what? Because it was all Pleiadian starship. And I was like, oh, so okay, we're going on a Pleiadian starship now. Okay. Just keep writing, Erica. Just keep writing. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that is what I have loved. So, I don't know if you connect to New Zealand at all, or, I mean, I'm sure we've been places where we're like, what? I was there before, but yeah, but that's what I got for you. I wish I could remember the name. There's something, you know what? Oh, God, what is the name of those? Look, if you feel called, look up, they're like mountain sheep, but they're like not sheep. They're like big, like maybe they are a ram, but look up like rams of New Zealand or something. That's what I was seeing. And then and this would be a huge one, maybe look up the biggest ram in New Zealand or the biggest breed of rams or whatever. Okay. And then look up, if you get that, then take that information and then look up, the spiritual meaning of the animal. Okay. And I promise you, I just know it, that will give you like some big messages for that. Okay. So, but that is what I have for you, love. And you're welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, my mind is going blank, but that's all I saw was that, like, it was like that. And then that huge ram, like, and I know it's representative of you. It's a representation of you. And I know that it was like the hunter hunting the ram and, different, game and stuff like that for meat and furs and all that. But it was a deep connection between you and that animal, and like the meaning of the animal. So you're very welcome, love. You're always welcome. Sorry, I forgot you. That's why I was like, I only had them on Rebecca. And then, okay, yeah, Cash App. Okay, gotcha. All right. So, but that is what I have for everyone today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Those of you guys who are just like hanging out, thank you for being here. I'm just gonna clear a little bit. All right. So without further ado, or wait, no, I think you say that when you're about to like present something, huh? Right? That's not when you say goodbye. Au revoir. There's goodbye, right? So anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me. I know that the collective message wasn't like a reading, but like, it's just, you guys know me. Like, whatever needs to be said, needs to be said. Whatever needs to come through, needs to come through. Whatever needs to be shared, needs to be shared. You know what I mean? And, you know, just ending on that, it really is a reminder, and to just, when maybe you feel a little low or down or anything, right? Remember that the universe favors the brave. And the bigger the pain, the bigger the purpose. Okay? So I know sometimes it literally can feel like a curse. Trust me, I swear, like, people like, you know, oh, I wish I had your gifts, or, you know, things. I'm like, oh my God. Well, first of all, everyone has the ability to connect and tap in. But I'm like, no, like, it can feel like it's a blessing, and I'm happy, but it feels like a curse so much of the time. You know what I mean? You pick up on so much, too much. That's why I'm such a hermit, you know? So, you know, it's all a blessing in disguise, right? So, all right. I love you guys. Have a good day. Oh, it's 222 here in California. All right, now I got to go do more recording. And then I have 2 clients in, an hour and a half. And then back to back after. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm always working, you guys. Like, even when I'm like not posting on the channel, like, there is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. It's a full-time business. It is a full-time business for sure. And, oh, you know what, Rebecca, you were the one that asked about the Lemurian pendants, huh? I think, was that you that emailed me? Oh, yeah, I saw that 22. And then right when I looked, it jumped to 26. Yep. Funny. Okay. I'll create a post about that, how to pre-order them. Because they will take, like, they probably wouldn't be shipped out probably till like end of February, sometime. So, but you can pre-order them, okay? Or whatever, purchase it, pre-order, whatever you want to call it. But I'll make a post about that, because I think I shared something the other day, and then I talked about it in the live, and I think I wrote something like on the community page, but I didn't explain it. And then I posted like 2 readings back to back, and then I forgot to put it in the description box for everyone. So I will share the information about that, okay? So I love you guys. Have a good day, and I will see you soon.